This video goes over our data window. Our data window can be found in the top right corner, and it kind of looks like a calendar. And when you click on it, it opens up and you can see your different data layers. We have zip codes and we have counties, states, and also this is where you'd go to look at your entries for any data that you've imported from an Excel spreadsheet. In the data window, we can do things like change the size. We can change the color of our data set. We can also change the shape. We have a pretty extensive symbol set, but if you need to bring in your own company logo, we have Manage Custom Symbols, and that would allow you to bring in a small JPEG to represent your locations. Other features in the data window, we have a filter here, and you can filter by any column of your Excel spreadsheet. And so I'm going to go ahead and go through that process, and I'm going to filter down by my customer type. So I'm going to click the filter, and from the pull-down list, I'm going to choose my customer type column. And in this little pull-down list here, you'll see different options. So we have greater than, less than, contains, one of, all sorts of different ways to search your data. In this case, I'm going to choose equal, and I'm going to enter in the name of what I'm looking for, and I'm going to just type in house account. I click filter, and now I just see my house accounts in the data window. And if I check this box here to filter map view, then all of those other points go away. I can add a second filter if I want to by clicking the add button. And let's say that I only want to find the ones in a particular state. I can go down to state province and make that equal to, and I'll put in a 2-letter code for Ohio. Click filter, and now my list is refined. And I can either press refresh here, or I can uncheck and recheck. And now I'm left with just my house accounts in the state of Ohio. If I want to, I can then click new and create a marketing list. And I can choose all of the locations in the data window, click next, and then I can give it a name. House accounts in Ohio, and create. And now I have a list within my list of just showing the house accounts in Ohio. And then when I'm ready, I can choose to export that information out to a CSV file. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those filters now and bring back my data. The clear filter button. And I'm going to uncheck this box to make all those points come back. So that's how you can use the data window to filter information. I'm next going to use the data window to create a territory. So I'm going to click on my zip5 codes and map and data, and I'll turn on my state layer as well. I'm going to zoom out to a national level. So let's say that you're looking to possibly set up franchise locations, and you're really interested in finding areas across the nation that meet a certain population threshold and also a median household income. So what we can do is we can add demographic data to our boundary zip code layer for across the United States with this choose columns button in the lower right corner. From here, I can, if I wanted to, I could add information from my data set. But in this case, I'm going to choose demographic data, and I'll choose population, bring that over, and let's scroll down to median household income. My little arrow here, I'm going to click and bring that over as well. I'm going to hold down the shift button and press the up arrow just to highlight both of these locations. And then if I click this little blue arrow, I can make it jump up next to my zip5 codes. I can also remove fields that I don't really care about. So I'm going to get rid of some of these, and I'll press the left arrow, make those go away. And then once I click set data columns, I now have those fields in my data window. So that's how you can first add demographic data to the table. Next, I'm going to use filters to get areas of concentration. So I'm going to do, this is per zip code. So I'm going to do greater than or equal to for a population. And let's go with, I'm going to go with 20,000. Click filter. And now I can see that I have 6,122 locations out of 33,000 boundary zip codes. If I click this filter map view by content, I can see that it's kind of filtered down. Now let's add our second field, and I'm going to click choose columns. Excuse me. I'm going to click my filter again, and I'm going to add in median household income from the list. Scroll through. And let's say I want more affluent areas, so I'm going to do median household income greater than, let's go 65,000. And click filter. And now I can see that I have 1,881, and if I press refresh, then I have more areas of concentration here. Some of the areas that you might expect, urban areas around Boston, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, LA, and San Francisco. So areas that you might think, Seattle as well. So now I'm going to create a territory. So I'm going to click this blue button, and I'm going to choose all geographies in the data window. Click next. And I'm going to just label my territory possible franchise locations. Create. And now I have one large territory for all those individual locations. If I take a moment, I can, if I wanted to kind of peel off an area, let's zoom in on Phoenix here. And if I wanted to kind of manage this territory, maybe peel off Phoenix from the larger area, I can choose my search tools and do a freeform and just draw a big circle around the area. And I'm going to search my zip codes, and I'm going to create a new territory. And while I'm at it, I'm going to click that search button again, search my zip code layer, and I'm going to choose to now remove it from possible franchise locations, just so Phoenix is its own independent location. So now I can see my pull-down list underneath the zip 5 codes. I can see my Phoenix territory, and I can see the estimated populations and median household income. Once I'm ready, I can then click that export button and send it out as a CSV file. One thing about when you're exporting a territory, we now have an option to add point-only, no-boundary zip codes. Real briefly, there are two types of zip codes. There's boundary zip codes, which are filled in with these shapes, with colors. And there's also another type of zip code called point zip codes. Point zip codes are just buildings that receive a lot of mail. They aren't filled in with a shape. It's just a building. So maybe it's a large post office that processes a lot of mail, has its own zip code, but it doesn't really have a boundary to fill in. If you want all zip codes, boundary and point, then you click this button and click next, and then you export that as a CSV file. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks and have a great day.